All right, let's talk about a problem I bet a lot of you have run into. You've built the perfect little tool, a real problem solver, but now comes the hard part. How do you get it deployed securely across your entire organization? Well, today we're going to solve that. I mean, have you ever done this? You build this awesome little utility, a real lifesaver for your team, right? And then you hit a brick wall when it's time to actually get it out there. You know the pain, getting it onto the right computers, making sure it's secure, and doing it all without causing a flood of help desk tickets. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are in the right place. Because today, our mission is to smash right through that wall. We're going to walk through the entire process, from a piece of code all the way to a seamless deployment, using the power of Microsoft Intune. Now, to make this super practical, we're not going to just talk theory. Nope, we are going to follow a real-world example from start to finish, a custom SQL tool that we've built for our internal teams. Now, our little app is pretty straightforward, but it's exactly the kind of thing you see all the time. It does four key things. It lets you test a connection to a SQL server, you can run it any query you want, it shows the results in a nice clean grid, and you can export those results to a CSV. It's the perfect kind of helper app a support team might whip up. And here's the tech we're using to build it. Look, there's nothing crazy here, it's all pretty standard stuff. The user interface is a classic .NET Windows form. Of course, it talks to a SQL server. And for the deployment, we're going to package it up as a Win32 app, that's the .intune Win format, and then push it out with Microsoft Intune. This is a super solid and modern way to do it. Okay, so we know what we're building. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the prep work. This first big step is all about getting our code ready for the big leagues, for a real enterprise deployment. Look, we're not going to bore you with a line-by-line code review, don't worry. But it all starts in Visual Studio, right? We write our C# code, we build the project, and what pops out at the end is our main application file, SQL Management Tool.exe. This is our starting block. Okay, so we have our .exe, but you cannot just email this thing to people. That's a recipe for disaster. For a proper grown-up deployment in a company, you absolutely need what's called a silent installer. It's a non-negotiable. It means the installation happens completely in the background with 0 clicks, no pop-ups, and no interruptions for your user. It just works. And making one is actually pretty easy. We can use a free tool, something like InnoSetup. We basically just wrap our .exe file inside this installer package and, this is the magic part, we tell it to listen for a special command. That little /silence switch you see there, that's the key that unlocks this whole automated process. All right, so we've got our silent installer. We're getting close, but Intune can't just digest that raw installer. We have one more critical step, and this is where we get into the .intune Win format. Think of this as Intune's special language for handling these kinds of custom apps. And you know what? Microsoft gives us a tool that makes this super easy. It's a little command line thing called the Win32 Content Prep tool. It just asks you 4 simple questions. First, where are your installer files? Second, what's the main setup file called? Third, where do you want me to save the new package? And, well, that's pretty much it. You run the tool, answer those questions, and bam, this is what you get. A single, tidy file with that .intune Win extension. It's like a zip file on steroids, containing our installer and all the instructions Intune needs to get the job done. Okay, we've got our special package. We are on the home stretch now, people. Let's jump into the cloud. It's time to head into the Intune portal and tell it what to do with our brand new app. So you're just going to fire up the Intune Admin Center, navigate over to the Apps section, and tell it you want to add a new Windows app, Win32. And guess what the very first thing it asks for is? Yep, that .intune Win file we just made. You just upload it straight in. Once it's uploaded, you've got to fill in a few boxes. But really, it boils down to 3 absolutely critical things. First, the install command. Remember that /silent switch? That goes here. Second, the uninstall command. Super important so you can remove the app cleanly later. And third, the detection rule. This is genius. It's how Intune checks if the app actually installed correctly. We're just telling it, hey, go look for this .exe file. If you get these 3 right, you are golden. And just like that, the app is configured. The only thing left to do is decide who gets it. This is where we assign it to a group. So for our tool, we'll target a group we made called SQL-admin devices. This makes sure only the right people get our awesome new tool. All right, deep breath. We did the prep, we did the configuration, and now for my favorite part, the payoff. Let's see it all in action and make sure it actually worked. Now, what does success look like? Well, it kind of depends on your point of view. For your end user, it's magic. They just open up their company portal and boom, the app is there, showing as installed. No fuss. But for us, the admins, we need a more technical proof. And this is it, this beautiful one-liner in PowerShell. You can run this on any machine in your target group. It just asks Windows, hey, do you have any software installed with SQL MGMT in the name? If it comes back with a result, that's your confirmation. It's a fantastic way to check your work without bothering anyone. So let's just take a step back for a second and appreciate what we just did. We took a custom-built tool, something that started as just an idea and some code, and we bridged that huge gap to a secure, automated, honest-to-goodness enterprise deployment. That is a huge win. It's how you scale your impact. And there you have it. That's the whole shebang. From a simple executable to a fully deployed application, all managed beautifully from the cloud. Which really only leaves one question, doesn't it? What awesome custom tool are you going to deploy next?